everyone and welcome to another video. This month has been one of those really weird reading months where I've read a lot of books in one sitting. So I kind of wanted to go through the books that I've read in one sitting this month and some from a previous month. And I'm really excited about this video because it's going to be able to recommend to you books which I've read in one sitting, which means that I've really enjoyed them if I generally could not put them down. The story behind it is every Thursday I go to my boyfriend's work. He's a chef and I go and sit in his room and I just sit and read. It gets me out of the house, it gets me away from my laptop and social media, and I can just read. And I've been doing that now for a couple of weeks and I've managed to read loads of books, and I'm gonna just start with them. What started this all off was Broken Dolls by Tyrone Puxity, and I read this in one sitting. I was sat in the room and I just finished it. It is a very quick read. It is just about 160 pages-ish, just shy of that. And this is about these dolls which are animated. They are alive. They were once humans, but now they are dolls, and it's about why they are now dolls, what's happened, what's going on in the world to make them dolls. It's very much like a Doctor Who episode. I found it really intriguing and very just mystical and magical, and I really liked it. So yes, I read this in one sitting, which was so much fun. And then I went back the week after and I read Creature by Nellie Capp in one sitting. This is all about this girl falling in love with an immortal. There's like magic involved and these romance involved, and our main character is kind of discovering this world. Like, she's always had these dreams. They've always kind of been her safe haven, and she started to see this monster in her dreams, and then when she confronts the monster, she's like, leave me alone, and then he says, you'll never be able to get away from me, and then she goes to school the next day, and a new boy's there, and then the new boy's at school, and she's kind of like looking at him a bit weirdly, like, oh, I kind of recognise you. And then the new boy says to her, I told you you couldn't get away from me. And it turns out the new boy was the monster in the dreams, but he's not actually a monster, and it's like, gods, immortals, powers, excitement. Creature by Nellie Capp. I read this whole thing in one sitting. I literally sat there, and on Twitter, if you want to follow me on Twitter, guys, you can actually see my updates. Then the week after that, I went and I was actually reading this book here called Exist by Jennifer Crazy Daniels. And this book is best described as a mixture between The Darkest Minds but meets more of the X-Men. It's got a lot of superhero aspects to it, which is really fun. But I was sat there finishing this one off, and I literally flew through it and read it. And now this book is a chunky, nearly 400 pages long, and within 2 hours I had finished this novel. I had read 300 pages of the novel and finished it, and I was just like kind of obsessed with this whole idea of telepathy and telekinesis and being invisible, people being able to fly, and there's these shadow creatures trying to get after these superheroes, but the superheroes are trying to get kind of taken in by the government and used as their weapons, and it was just kind of really exciting. But then the whole idea is this whole romance aspect to it as well, which I really liked. So I finished this one in one sitting, and I had another book with me because obviously the previous 2 weeks where I had read the previous 2 books, I was like, well, I need to have something there just in case I finish Exist. And I did, so I picked up Elska by St. Bende and was like, right, I'll start this one, but I'm sure I won't finish it. I finished this whole book the same day I finished Exist, literally like 2.5 hours later. This one is awesome. It's about Krista, who kind of has visions, and she goes and moves from America to Wales in England, to Cardiff. And she goes to university there, and she meets this boy called Ool, and he's very different. He's so different. He's a bit possessive, but he disappears, and it's really odd. Now she's kind of a bit like confused where she stands with him, and then he comes back and basically lets her know that he is not only just a boy, but he is a Norse god and an assassin for the Norse gods. And yes, she kind of gets thrown into this massive world of these Norse gods, and you meet Thor and you meet Odin, and there's like romance and there's a lot of magic. He's the god of winter, which is really awesome. So I read this whole thing in one sitting, literally after this one. I couldn't believe it. Like, that's the majority of the books I've read this month, and I've read them all in one sitting, just from where I've been like so captivated by the novel. Now what I've done, just like these next 2 books I'm going to show you, I haven't read the work, but these are the ones I've read previous months in one sitting. Fire Girl by Matt Rouse and Drown by Esther Dalseno. 2 books, a Little Mermaid retelling, twisted take on Little Mermaid retelling, and then a middle grade book about a witch who can control fire. I've got a massive thing about reading books in one sitting. Apparently I'm really fast reader, like a really fast reader, which I'm kind of figuring out more and more at the moment. And yeah, I kind of read all these books. I read you all in one sitting, guys, so you can now sit on my bookshelves and just be cute. So there you have it. I will leave the Goodreads pages down below for you to go and check these novels out if you want to know more. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again in another video very soon. And yeah, definitely go check out these novels on Goodreads. Thanks so much. Bye.